My name is Martin Kamphuis. I'm the Director of Vendor Relations and Strategic Alliances at Realtime Register, and I'm thrilled to be your host today on what promises to be a truly insightful and forward-looking session. We are kicking things off in a big way with a fantastic guest who's no stranger to innovations. Joining us today is BaseKit, and they're here to share something very special, the reveal of their newest release of their powerful platform, presented by Simon Best, who's the CEO of BaseKit, and Gordon Plant, who's the Vice President of Product at BaseKit. And be aware, because this is not an update, it's a bold step forward, and you are among the very first to see it. Whether you're a hosting provider, a digital agency, or simply curious about the future of the web presence tools, you're in the right place. We're all discussing this today. Throughout the session, feel free to pop your questions into the WebEx chat. We will make time for Q&A at the end, so you can engage directly with the BaseKit team or with Realtime Register, of course. So let's start. Simon, take the screen. Over to you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Martin. I'm going to be setting the scene today, just before Gordon introduces you to the product and the new release that Martin talked about. I'm going to be talking about some of the opportunities that we see in the SME space where it comes to delivering them new technology and new products to help their business, and also some of the barriers. And I'm going to lead through to what we think is a sweet spot for success for an SME audience. And I'll also talk about why white labeling is great, why you should be going and partnering with white label providers, what are the benefits, and what a great partnership looks like. And hopefully we can convince you by the end that working with BaseKit via Realtime Register would be a great offering for your SME customers. So let me just share my screen. So firstly, I'm going to start with a couple of stats. So from a Sage Business report this year, 32% of SMEs globally report that adopting new technology is a key driver of confidence. And we know that with that confidence and with using and adopting new technology, businesses become more productive, and therefore that leads them to more successful outcomes. So for SMEs who adopt the right technology, they're more likely to be confident and successful in their businesses. And another stat from McKinsey from a couple of years ago, 50% of SMEs want to get all of their products from a single trusted provider. So we really believe that you as resellers can capitalize on this. So if you give your SME customers more great products, more great technology, you're leading them to be more and more productive, and that will make their businesses thrive. So what do we see as the big opportunities right now in the SME space? Well, it's these three things. So AI, mobile commerce, and security. So obviously AI is a huge buzzword all over technology now, not just for small business customers. It's fast becoming a feature that you see in every technology product that you use, whether that's for your business or whether that's in your personal life. And this statistic is quite staggering. It's way bigger than I thought. Nearly 90% of US small businesses alone are now using AI tools every day to run their business, boost productivity, do things more quickly. So the products that you sell should also be featuring AI to help your customers to do more and to be more productive. And when it comes to mobile commerce, another big stat that was sort of bigger than we realized, 70% of all online purchases globally happen on a mobile device. And small local businesses account for 40% of that total global online sales. Now that number is going to be a huge number in terms of the total global online sales that small businesses account for. So sometimes it can be easy to dismiss serving small businesses. They're too small, but we can see that that number contributes massively to the economy. So again, you should be offering your small business customers a way to give their customers a great mobile experience, particularly where it comes to commerce. And then when it comes to security, 43% of cyber attacks target small businesses. Another quite staggering statistic. DDoS attacks affect 20% of small businesses every year. And sadly, 60% of those small businesses will go out of business within 6 months as a result of those sorts of attacks. And quite often, small businesses are just ill-equipped to deal with these sorts of security problems. They just don't understand, don't know how to deal with them. So again, it's on you as resellers to make sure you're choosing super secure platforms and super secure partners to, sell the right products to your small business audience. So we've looked at some opportunities. Now let's look at some barriers. And these are from a survey that we did of small businesses 2 years ago to find out more about why or why not small businesses adopted technology. So the first thing we heard, and the thing we heard the most, was that there's a lack of knowledge. Small businesses simply don't know what technology can help their business. Even if they do know the sorts of technology that help their business, they don't know where to find it. They don't know where to find out about it. And they certainly then don't know how to use it. There's also then a cost perception that everything's going to be too expensive. If there's a tool that helps me to run my business and be 2 times more effective, that's going to cost me thousands of pounds. But that's simply not always the case. Or am I going to be locked in for a long period of time, even if this doesn't work for me? And then there's also managing risk, which goes hand in hand somewhat with cost. There's a risk if something costs too much. There's also a risk of doing something wrong with a tool or a piece of software. Or there's the security risk as well. Will they be able to handle managing security of the tools that they use? I think there are easy ways to overcome all of these barriers. Educating your small business audience is something you can do to give them the knowledge that they need to make the right decisions and choose the right products that you can sell them. Having a great offering at a really reasonable price and with very flexible pricing options will give them, or will at least take that cost perception away, and will give them more confidence to come and buy some of those products from you. And where it comes to managing risk, if you get everything else right, make sure you choose a software provider, a partner that will manage your security and make sure that the products you're giving them don't give them any headaches where it comes to security or privacy or GDPR or any of those sorts of things. So we've been leading up to this slide. What do we think they're looking for? What's the SME sweet spot? Well, they're looking for something simple. They don't want to have to read the manual. They don't want to have to take days or weeks or months to engage with the product and make it work for their business. They need it to be flexible. So can it flex to the way that they work, their individual working style or workflow? And can it be flexible enough in pricing so they can make the jump and start to use it and feel confident that they're not going to be ripped off? And also, is it secure? Can they have the peace of mind that they're not going to have to worry about anything going wrong or any data leaks or any security issues like that? So if you can choose a provider and choose the right tools for your small business audience that have simplicity, flexibility, and security, then we feel you've hit that SME sweet spot. So I'm going to talk a little bit about white labeling now. First of all, I'm going to introduce the BaseKit platform. So at BaseKit, we have 3 core products. We have a website builder. We have a store builder, which lets small businesses sell physical stuff, physical goods. And then we also have a bookings product for selling time-based services. So things like appointments, events, and classes. We've been offering these in a white label way for 15 years now. And when we think about why white label is the best option for resellers, these things come to mind. So we've got the pricing and margin flexibility. So when you're in a white label space, often the cost you pay for those products is quite considerably less than the retail price that you can charge your end customer. So that gives you lots of flexibility. So flexibility in experimenting with pricing. So you can start high and come down until it starts to attract customers. You can have seasonal offers. You can offer discounts. For example, when somebody tries to cancel, you might try and offer a discount to try and keep them involved in using the product. So you have that flexibility to be really experimental and really find out what works for your customers in your territory. And the next two things kind of go hand in hand, the positioning alignment and brand control. You can take the product and you can mold it to fit your audience in the best possible way. You can make sure it fits with other products that you sell. Perhaps you want to join it up or bundle it or integrate it somehow. And then also you've got complete control over branding. So you can have your logo, your colors. And also when we talk about branding, we talk about the configuration of things. So the packages that you're selling, you've got control over the features that you're offering in each of those and the pricing of each of the packages, and also right down to things like localization. So what languages are your customers going to use, and what payment gateways do they need in your territory? So you have complete control over the offering that you've got to push out to your customers. And then finally, we've talked about security quite a number of times, but certainly with BaseKit, we manage the platforms 24/7. They're monitored by our network operations center team. So any issues are taken care of immediately. We have a team dedicated to making sure it's super secure. There's not going to be any security problems or data leaks. So you've got that peace of mind that you don't have to worry about that aspect of things. So what does a successful white label partnership look like? Well, we see it with these two layers. There's the inner layer in the yellow and purple here, which is the stuff you'd expect quite a lot of providers to give you. You've got a robust platform with 99.999% uptime at least. It's fully managed. Of course, it's white labeled, as we've spoken about. You can deeply integrate it, whether that's with a control panel like cPanel or WHMCS, or using our API. And we'll provide second line support. So all these things we feel are pretty central to any sort of offering like this. But then we also provide the more commercial things around the outside. So we've already talked about the high margin. Before you go live, we will give you go-to-market support. So we'll make sure you can position and talk about the product. We'll provide you with great assets, whether that's text for your website, whether that's videos, images from the product, everything you need to really rapidly talk about the product in the best possible way. And then there's training. So we'll make sure that your sales teams, your support teams are trained. And so they have all the knowledge that they need to do the best job and to have the most successful outcome when they're selling it. And we'll even do things like end-to-end user testing to make sure that the product is absolutely fine, is working, is tracking everything that we need it to. As well as this, you'll have a dedicated account manager, someone you can speak to anytime that will tell you how things are going. There'll be bi-weekly feature releases, so you'll understand exactly how the product is evolving over time as we release new features and new fixes, and also growth insights. So every month we can meet with you. We can tell you how many subscriptions you've got, how much churn you've got. Let's have a look at how we can optimize that, how we can do better so you grow and be most successful. So hopefully you'll see that by choosing the right white label partner like BaseKit that can offer small businesses a really simple, really flexible, and a really secure product, that you are in that sweet spot for SMB success. So I'm going to pass over now to Gordon for the moment you've all been waiting for, which is to actually see the product in action. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, Simon. So I'm very excited this morning to show you for the very first time outside of BaseKit the new onboarding flow. We call this Six Bravo. And after that, we'll spend a few minutes going through the rest of the BaseKit product, and then we'll talk briefly about some other things that we have coming up soon. So this is in beta test right now. It'll be released towards the end of the month. And for the first time, this gives our customers a way to either use AI or the current extensive template library that we've built. So let's take a look at the AI route. So the customer here can just add a description of their business or organization. And if they can give us a few words, then the AI can start to figure something out. Now, I've put in quite a bit there. It'll work with less, but the more information we give it, the better chance we have of getting a great result. So now the AI is going to go away and find some appropriate content from our extensive library. It will generate some text, and then it will put all that together with a color palette and some other choices. And here's what we've got. So I've told it that I want to be a flower shop. You can see it's picked some content for me and some colors and fonts too. Now, at this point, the customer can jump straight into the editor and start editing this site. But if they wish, they can also start changing the colors and the look of it. We think it's very important for customers to always be in control. And that's why, even though we are using AI throughout our product, we're always making it really easy for the customer to say, hey, I want to have some input too here. And with BaseKit, that input is always simple. It's always very focused on what our non-designer small business customers need. It's important to us as well that the customer immediately feels like they're going to be able to work with this product. In these first few minutes, it'll establish the kind of relationship that they're going to have with the product from now on. So once you've got something you like here, you can then jump into the editor and continue to edit your site. So that's the very first time out for our new AI flow there. I'm delighted that it worked absolutely perfectly. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the current version of BaseKit so that I can show you the rest of the product, because that's on a different environment at the moment. Now, as you just saw, even in the AI version, you'll still have the opportunity to choose templates manually. And this is what will be presented to customers. So we've got over 300 different categories here covering all sorts of things based on our research about what small businesses are interested in. We have completely unique imagery, all AI generated. And we try and make it very easy for customers to try and find something that fits a mood that really kind of represents their business. But just for today's demo, I'm going to try and do something pretty straightforward and set up a shop to sell some t-shirts. So I'm going to pick one of the templates here. And as you saw just now, the customer will, after a few seconds, have the chance to choose their fonts and colors. And this little bit typically takes about 30 seconds, but it always seems a lot longer when you're doing a demo. So we'll just wait for that to finish. And there we go. So you can see we've got some layouts here. We've got lots of data about the right number of layouts to show. The limitations here are not in the product. They're all based on what we've learned over the years from looking at that data. What is the right number? Well, we've discovered from all sorts of experiments that it seems to be something like this number. Shows a bit of choice, but not too much. Every one of these can be previewed. And you can see the desktop and the mobile version. And just like before, you can change the colors and the fonts. So let's jump into the site editor now. And I'll very briefly show you one of the reasons why BaseKit's been so successful with all of our global partners around the world addressing SMBs. So we've made our design model, our page model, especially for customers who are not web design experts. So it's very easy to come into our section library here, find a block of content. We call it a section. We have galleries. We have forms with maps. We have all of the different things that you need, over 130 of these now. It's very easy for a customer to come in here, find something that looks pretty much like what they want, and then use it and adapt it. So just for now, I'm going to take this very simple section. And immediately you can see here that we can change the color. We can change the shape of it at the bottom. I'll show up when I scroll down a bit here. And of course, we can change the layout. So it's very easy for customers to get started designing their site. Of course, all the content is easy to replace. And our AI writer here can help you with writing new content. And that's available throughout the product. And of course, all the imagery can be swapped out too. We include a stock image library. And soon we'll be adding our own AI generated image library as well. So once the customer started to build the site, they can also drag and drop content if they want to. So absolutely everything can be moved around, and you can adjust these layouts to get exactly what you want. And of course, although there were lots of design options at the start, they're always available in the product. So there's no problem for the customer to change their minds about the look of the site at any time. Publishing is all included. It's all part of the system. It's all optimized using the very latest in caching and other technology to ensure good performance. So it takes just a few seconds and we can have a live site. So there's my published site. Well, like Simon said, we've got a lot more than just a site builder here. So very quickly then, I'm going to give you a quick overview of some of the other parts of the product. And then let's start by looking at the store and just very quickly setting up a store. So it's a quite simple 4-step process. And in the first step, we really just need a name for the store and for the customer to confirm their email. We always try and configure the currency and other units to match the local territory. It's simple to add a product. We just need 4 things: title, a description, an image, and finally a price. And as soon as we have that, then we're ready to go on to the next step. Obviously, we support all of the usual shipping options, such as setting up zones with multiple countries and all sorts of different charging rates. So I'll just select a destination here. You can have as many shipping zones as you like and as many shipping options as you need. We support all of these options, including weight-based shipping or free over total order price. And now I'm just going to go with free. And then the last thing is to add a payment gateway. This is a demo system, so we've got lots of payment gateways configured here. The delivered system we offer to you will have all of the ones that are relevant in your territories. This includes Stripe, PayPal, MasterCard, Klarna, and many others. The demo, I'm just going to use bank transfer. And that's it. In those 4 steps, we've set up a store and we're ready to take our first order. So now if we go back to the website, we can see over on the right here, the basket has been provisioned. So I'm going to publish that site now. And then we can go through the process of buying an item. So here's our basket. And here's our product. And we can add this to the basket, view the basket. And if we like it, we can check out. So we just need the delivery details. And then if we had a payment gateway, we'd enter into it here. So that's it. From the point of view of the store visitor, they've now made that purchase. From the point of view of the store owner, if we go and look in the store now, we'll see that they have an order. Here's the order. Delivery details are on the right and product details are on the left. They also get an email telling them they've sold something. It's easy for me to keep the customer informed about progress. I can mark the progress status here, and this will automatically send an email to the customer. Now today, I don't have time to take you through all of the other things that the store can do, but it's fully equipped with things like syncing to Facebook and Instagram. We can deal with all of the different kinds of tax systems around the world, VAT, sales tax, multiple tax rates, all of those things. As I've said, we can have lots of shipping options. We have various bits of configurability around checkout. Of course, we can offer discounts in various forms, either as discount codes or in individual products. You can import products from a spreadsheet. We have simple analytics here. And products themselves can have a lot more variance and settings added to them. So if you need to sell things with multiple weight, multiple size, color, all of those things, if you want to track inventory, if you want low stock alerts, all of this stuff is here. But today I'm just here to give you the very briefest outline about this. So that's the store. And then, as Simon said, we have our appointments product. And this is great for people who want to sell things that are time-based and can be synchronized to a calendar. So a lot of small businesses now will work like that. This will sync to Apple, Google, or Microsoft calendars. And is great for making it really simple to run a time-based business. We also have our customers application. This is where all of the transactions and customer information can be found. You can sync this using Zapier. You can also download the information. So if you want to download your contacts and use it for marketing, assuming people have opted in, or if you want to see customer history, all of that is available here. And of course, there's more to websites than just layout. So all of the other things that you'd expect us to be able to manage are all here too. So the ability to manage the domain if the customer needs that manual domain setup, the ability to set up your social profile details, SEO details, and of course, all of the privacy and cookie policy stuff is here too. So absolutely everything the customer needs to have a really successful small business site is here. Our products are available in 32 languages, I think, currently, and also we have the ability to handle multi-language websites as well. So if you do need pages in multiple languages, we're all set up to do that. So that's a very quick overview of the product. I've tried to stay within the time limit. I think we're just coming up to the end of the session here. So at this point, I will stop sharing. And I will hand back to Martin and see if there are any questions.
Thank you very much, Simon and Gordon. Of course, I've seen this over and over before, but it still is amazing to see how easy it is to build your website or your shop or use the booking tool. Yes, we had a question about languages. I think you just answered that one, Gordon. So if I repeat it in the right way, the website builder is in several languages, right? I think it's too much to name all of them right now. And it's the booking tool that is in 2 languages now, is that correct?
The booking system is also available in multiple languages, but a few less than the site. A few less than the site editor right now, but we're very happy to add them as needed. Okay, cool. And a specific one that Joshua was asking about, we will come back to that one. I have a few other questions. How does BaseKit differentiate from WordPress? Maybe it's for you, Gordon, or for Simon. Yeah, I'll take that one. So that's a really good question. We get asked that very often, and many of our partners find that BaseKit works really well alongside WordPress. WordPress, of course, addresses a well-known market that I'm guessing pretty much everyone on this webinar understands. But there's a very significant market of small business customers for whom WordPress really isn't a great choice. As you've just seen, one of the big differences with BaseKit is that you can get set up and running very quickly. And our products have been focused right from the get-go on the needs of the small business customer. So it's a lot more focused offering, it's a lot more simple. And of course, as Simon talked about earlier, security is very important. And BaseKit can offer that degree of security that is sometimes hard for WordPress vendors to do.
Okay, thank you very much. We just received another one. Is it white label? So does it allow us to general set up branding before users build their own site? Asked by Martijn.
Yeah, I can take that one too. Yes, it is completely white label. You won't see BaseKit branding anywhere. The configuration options we offer are, you may have seen in various places in the product. I won't screen share, but there is a little application menu at the top left there where your logo can appear. And as you may also have seen in the onboarding, you can configure the logo, and we can also create an animation with different colors in it if you wish. So there is some brand configuration there.
Yeah, and maybe it's also good to explain that we can have a conversation with you if you want to, Martijn. We also offer, let's say an easy version for maybe smaller hosting providers or smaller agencies where you don't see any branding, right? So it's also available without your logo or BaseKit or whatever. That's also possible, but if you want to know more, please get in touch with us. One final question. What are the integration options you offer?
Simon, do you want to take that?
I can take this one. Yeah, so a number of different integration options. So we can either support some of the common control panels that you see. So we've got support for cPanel, WHMCS, Plesk, and Upmind are the ones that spring to mind. I might even be missing one or two there, but those are the common ones that we support. We've also then got an API that can be used to do custom integrations. So if you need to, tightly integrate the provisioning into your own checkout flow on your side, or even with the API, you can create websites, you can create pages, you can add contents. We've had partners that have done very interesting things around dynamically generating websites for their customers. So it's really quite flexible. But yeah, the typical ones are those control panels like cPanel, WHMCS, Plesk, and Upmind, or via the API.
Cool. Okay. We get another question. Let me see. How to register the domain name via Realtime Register? Is this embedded? No, it's not embedded yet. So there's not a direct integration in the platform. It's something hosting providers can build themselves. I think it's too technical to dive in there, but yeah, we can of course have a discussion there, and we can show you how it works now. I think it's a good idea though, so maybe we need to discuss this later. And then really the final question, if there are more questions, please put them in the chat. We will answer them afterwards, but because of time, we need to go to an end here. The question is, I assume we as a company can set the domain name via API and the end customer does not need to do anything, include not verifying an email address, etc. from Taco.
Yes, exactly. So if you are registering and managing the domains on your side, there's a really simple API just to point a domain name at the BaseKit servers. So it would be on you to set up the DNS and do everything that was necessary to point the domain at the BaseKit servers. And then you call the BaseKit API to tell it that you've done so. And then that's everything done. We've got lots of documentation on this as well. So even if your customers do need to do that step themselves in terms of DNS records and things, within the product, there's a step-by-step guide on how they can do that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. I see more questions coming in, but like I said, because of time, we need to go to an end. So we will get back to all the questions you ask. And if you want to have a discussion about BaseKit, which I think is a great opportunity for everybody, please reach out, right? We can tell you more, we can demo, whatever is necessary. Simon and Gordon, thank you very much for today's demo and this first webinar. Yeah, at the end, you will see a survey. We ask everybody to fill out the survey. It's just 6 questions, I believe. It's for us to learn more about the webinar. Like I told, this is the first webinar we're doing as Realtime Register. So yeah, if it's necessary to improve something, then please let us know. For now, everybody, thank you very much and enjoy your day.
Thank you, Martin.
Thanks, Martin.